the Executive Secretary of the Right to Information Commission, lawyer Oppong Nkrumah, Chief Director of the Ministry of Information, Director of the Information Services Department, Directors of the Department and the Ministry, and the Head of the Access to Information Division of the Information Services Department. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And how are you doing? Let me start by congratulating you for being part of the second batch of Assistant Information Officers recruited to play this very important role in our republic. We recruited a first batch of 99 who are currently at post and are delivering, and the 250 of you in this second batch are going to join them as we work towards meeting our target of about 600 Assistant Information Officers across all the public institutions in Ghana. When Lawyer Boateng spoke, he mentioned that the Constitution 1992 has given all persons in Ghana, persons human and non-human, persons as in corporate and human persons, have been given a right under the 1992 Constitution under Article 21(1)(f). That right is that information that is available in a public institution is information that they, as persons in the Ghanaian jurisdiction, have a right to have. So you may be an academic in an institution doing some research and you need some information. It is your right to get that information if that information is in a public institution. The persons providing that information are not doing you a favor. For those who took your dissertation seriously in school, you recall that sometimes you send your questionnaires around, you are looking for information and nobody wants to give you that information. But under Article 21(1)(f), you have a right to have that information. You may be a citizen looking for information for a particular transaction or to inform yourself of something. And under Article 21(1)(f), you have a right to get that information. You may be a journalist looking for information, the truth, to do your work. Under Article 21(1)(f), you have a right to that information. The challenge we had over the years was that there was no clarity on how to access that information. And so the RTI Act, Act 989 of 2019, was passed. And it spells out how to access that information. That law essentially says that in every public institution, there must be an information unit. An information unit staffed and equipped so that when persons need information, they can apply to the information officer at that information unit. And as Ms. Boateng said, the job of that information officer is to facilitate so that whoever is applying for that information can get that information. You are not the custodians of the information, but like he mentioned, your job is to facilitate the application so that that information can be accessed in accordance with the law. As I mentioned, already we have recruited 99 and posted them. The 250 of you will bring to close to 350 out of the 600 the information officers we need in the public institutions of our country. In the other institutions, we have designated information officers. Our learning in the last 2 years is that institutions that have information officers assigned and posted are quicker in responding to requests for information than institutions that have designated information officers, because the designated officers are doing other jobs and then they add access to information to their schedules. And so we are very happy to have all of you who are now part of this enterprise to be in the public institutions to provide information. We are also working to roll out through the Access to Information Division the online records management system, which will make it easier for records officers to keep that information so that your facilitation is easier. Today, a lot of the information in the public services are manually recorded. We are automating all of that. We are digitizing that so that it is easier for you to access that information. I require some things of you as you are starting this journey. And the first, if you will make a note of it, I'll be very pleased. The first thing we require of you is a clear understanding of the importance of this job you're about to do. You're about to work to help people access their constitutional rights. And you must understand, therefore, that your job in these institutions where you are being posted is not to go work as a project officer or a protocol officer or secretary or receptionist. Your job is to assist applicants of information to get access to their constitutional rights. It is a very sacred duty that you are being asked to do, and one that I need you to take very seriously. Because if you infringe on the law, Act 989, you could be prosecuted by the Right to Information Commission. So it is important that you understand the nature of the role that you are about to undertake and approach it with all the seriousness that it requires. The second thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that you must demonstrate utmost fidelity to the law. Utmost fidelity to the law. The law has some requirements of you. Within 14 days, in ordinary cases, you have to provide a response. In extraordinary cases, 48 hours to provide a response. Parliament has now approved the fees and charges that are associated with the response that you provide. And it is important that you keep fidelity to the law. There are some forms of information or some information that are exempt. You are not permitted by law to make that available. Again, as the commissioner said, no institution is exempt, but some information across all the institutions is exempt. You need to know that and therefore be able to respond to requests that have to do with information that is exempt and respond to them appropriately. The third thing I need to draw your attention to is that you are in the job of service. And therefore, you need to approach your job with a high sense of service to your clients or your customers, the citizens or the persons who come through physically or electronically looking for information. I'm happy to note that customer service is included in the training that you'll be going through over the next 3 days. But you need to ensure that you approach your job with a higher sense of respect, diligence, and decorum for your customers, the persons who would come to your institutions looking for information. Number 4, integrity. You hear many stories of people in the public services corrupting the job that they are required to do. The job that they are paid by the state to do, they elect to employ all sorts of means before they satisfy customers who approach their offices. Bribery, corruption, undue delays, just so that they can find ways of extorting monies and other favors from customers. At the Access to Information Division, we have a mystery shopping exercise that we do. And if you are found culpable, not only would you be dismissed, you will be prosecuted. So I need you to approach your job with the highest sense of integrity. You are here to serve well, do it with all the fidelity to the law. And finally, professionalism. There's absolutely no difference between you and your colleagues who work in any other institution, locally or internationally, in public or private service. The difference is the level of seriousness and professionalism with which you bring to the job that you do. Many of you are very young people. Many of us have complained over the years about the levels of unprofessionalism and corruption in our public services. You have an opportunity to make a difference where you are going. So do not become part of the old story that we are complaining about. Be the change that we are looking for. We're looking for the highest sense of professionalism from you. I want to appeal to all of you to approach the job that you're about to do as though it were your own. And let us have a good story to tell about this second batch of 250 assistant information officers who are now going out there to serve the people of Ghana. In pursuance of Act 989, we have created a whole division at the Information Services Department. That's the Access to Information Division. Dr. Mahama, would you please rise? Dr. Mahama is the head of that division. So she's your boss. She's the one you all report to directly. In her division, she has a number of schedule officers who are available to assist you. Any challenge you have with any application that has come to you in your institution, the first port of call is to Dr. Mahama and your schedule officer in their division. And they will back you up and support you and assist you so that you deliver pretty well. If you have further inquiries, you may, just like anybody else in the general public does, you may reach out to the RTI Commission to give you guidance or information if you just need some general information. But as Commissioner mentioned, you work for the Information Services Department, Access to Information Division. You work directly to your schedule officers and to Dr. Mahama. If you need any guidance, any support, reach out and let them support you. Because if you fail to meet the timelines, you will not be excused. So they are there to support you. We've invested heavily in that division. Reach out to them and let them support you so that you are able to deliver and make us proud. On that note, I want to declare this 3-day orientation and training formally opened. We commission you all and welcome you to the Information Services Department. Thank you very much.